Welcome back to the 18th episode of Unstable, and welcome back to football. I know this is going to drop on a Friday, but we're doing this on a Thursday, and I am watching the NFL right now on my side monitor. Football is back, baby. I love it. It's about time. I just want to know if football missed me as much as I missed it. For the first time in a couple weeks, we've got Alex back. How you doing, man?
I'm good. This is the most wonderful time of the year. Olympics, baseball trade deadline was on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Crazy day. A lot of big moves made. The Dodgers, Cardinals, and Mariners especially. I'm really happy to see the Mariners actually make some big moves because I'm sick and tired of them just fizzling out at the end of the day, at the end of the year like they've done for the last 25 years probably. Even with Ken Griffey Jr., they still did that. Except when they beat the Yankees,
And I,
like
lo-
that
and I love
one series.
and I love me some Ichiro, man. One of my favorite hitters.
um, but yeah, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
For sure.
I am beyond excited. Even like I'm not a massive basketball fan. Obviously, the Celtics won the finals this year, so I was happy. And the NHL, I'm a Bruins fan as well, but it's all coming back within the next couple months. October, that sports equinox month.
Mm-hmm.
October is like really the best time.
You got, both me and my wife's birthday are in October. You got Halloween and Thanksgiving, and Christmas, the New Year's, and it's all around football.
The this year especially, we also are going to have all this political shit going on that we can just make fun of too. There's a new candidate that entered the race. His name is Oscar Katz. Chaotically Intolerant has officially endorsed him. He is the first feline presidential candidate ever. We just made a presidential campaign video for him. You can check that out on our YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Great. Honestly, I hate my own work normally, but I think it was a pretty good video. It was pretty serious, Oscar's going to bring America to the forefront. He's a pretty cool guy.
Cool cat.
Adorable, pretty cool cat. Yeah. He's not afraid to take his claws out. He's a different breed of politician, but yeah, this is October. I'm probably hopefully going to be in Boston at the end of September, maybe October. Try and catch an important game, that final series against the Rays, or a wild card game. So
for sure,
it's a good time. Good time.
Hell yeah, football's back.
Football is back, though. That is the number one thing. That's
all that matters.
Yeah,
it's the happiest I've been since my two kids were born. So, oh man, all right. So I almost forgot to do the housekeeping. Came out with a couple of shorts last week from the podcast last Friday, and the two of them combined got almost 3,000 views. So I'm excited for that. Thank you everybody for watching. Got some comments, got some interaction, so we really appreciate it. And we went up a couple subscriptions, so I'm happy about that. But let's keep it going. Right now, out of all the this AFC South last show or this AFC South shows, we're still in last in subscriptions. Come on, Colts fans, help us get up there. Right now, Third and Teal smoking us. Don't want that anymore. Smash the like, smash the sub, help us out, change the algorithm. We're doing this because we love it. We're not getting paid to do it, at least not yet, and that's where you guys come in. Help us out. Like, share, sub, please. Go over to this AFC South show and all the other sister channels under that, and do it over Chaotically Intolerant too. We, as always, appreciate all the support. So in this episode, the last couple, I've gone over number 9 through 25 of my top all-time Colts players. Now that Alex is here, he can say that, hey, my list sucks, or not, or change some people out, or rotate people around. Create a little discussion around it. But of course, this is mostly going to be talking about training camp. Unfortunately, the injury bug struck the Colts again, and I'm sure everybody's aware of it, but Samson Ebukam tore his Achilles, and he will miss the entire season. So that really sucks. If I'm not mistaken, he was the Colts' lead sacker in 23, if I'm not mistaken, and that's
Yes, he
he's
was
really
9.5.
and he's really good at stopping the run too on the edge. So that'll be a big miss. I mean, I'm not sure if he was going to be the starter. With Latu, Quiddy Pay, there's a lot of good people, a lot of good players, a lot of strong talent. So I don't know if he was going to be the starter, but he was definitely going to be a key piece in the rotation if he wasn't starting. So that's a huge blow. It really is.
Yeah, I would have assumed we would have seen him as the starter, but it sucks. It's plain and simple. It just fucking sucks, especially in training camp. I mean, you never want to see that from anyone. They never even had a chance,
No, it's terrible. I put out I don't know what they're calling it. If it's not Twitter anymore. It's not really a tweet anymore, but I put
an X.
post. I don't know. Kind of a shout out to him. Get well soon. It sucks, but come back at 25, better and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Get well soon. It sucks, man. We all, Colts Nation feels it. We wish him all the best.
Yeah.
And hope he comes back, healthy and stronger and better next year.
Mm-hmm. I think he was going to be ahead of Odangbo. At least when I looked at it before, he was going to be ahead of Odangbo on the chart, on the depth chart. Pay is, I'm looking at it right now. Pay is ahead of Latu at the moment on the depth chart. So I mean, we'll see. Listen, you said, I think you texted me when it happened, and I forgot to respond to you about the EbuCom thing, and I mean, listen, I never said that Latu was not skilled wise. I said I didn't want to use a pick on him because of his injury history, and I'll still, I'm still gonna stick with that. I mean, people can say what they want. They can say he was cleared 3 years ago, whatever. Neck injuries are crazy. I know a lot of people who've dealt with a lot of neck injuries. I know a lot of athletes who've dealt with some pretty horrible neck injuries, and that shit is hard to come back, and especially playing at a high level. But again, I mean, I hope the best for the guy. I don't ever want to, you know, say someone's going to suck just because of an injury or something. It was just, if I was a GM, I wouldn't have taken the risk on it. And I hope it pays off for Ballard.
It's, with this Ibuka injury, it might already be. Honestly, from what I'm understanding, he's doing really, really good in training camp. He's fast. He's quick. I mean, his first
Yeah,
big
there's a
play,
lot of good things about him.
I think he burned. Who's the second? I can't remember who the backup left tackle was, but he burned him like the first or second day of training camp, and then he actually blew past Ryman, who is, he's done really good at getting some really good ends, at an NFL level, not training camp. Like Ryman has been a really solid left tackle, and to hear that, he just blew past him, like that's promising. I think Latu. I think he was already going to be a very important piece to it. Now it's just he has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, there are good rotational pieces behind him to come in as relief, but I wouldn't say that they're high quality starting talent. So I feel like right now he's probably entrenched now as a starter. From what I'm understanding out of camp is that they are rotating Pay at left and right end. So they're kind of rotating him, which I would expect to see a lot of in the game because both of them can, if they shift around what they're doing, that'll be hell for some offensive lines.
Yeah.
I am also understanding that Alec Pierce is having a great training camp, and he's so far outplaying Mitchell. I understand. I think they're splitting first and second team, but Alec Pierce, when he's out there, is kind of outshining him right now, which is surprising to me. Like I really thought it was kind of, once they drafted Mitchell, I thought he was. I know they were going to make him work for it. Like he couldn't just come out and not do shit, but I thought it was going to be Mitchell, and now it seems like it's leaning a little bit more towards Pierce staying as the number two. So, So what do you think about that?
I think the pressure obviously has helped so far. Kind of putting it on Alec Pierce and saying, listen, there's someone right in the building here, ready to take your job. I think before maybe it just there wasn't as much pressure. I think probably knew, hey, I'm one of the better receivers no matter what. But now he's really got to put in the work. And I'm not saying he wasn't doing that before. Obviously, I think no, it just has to do with mental stuff. There's someone nipping at your heels versus not nipping at your heels. Um, I love Alec Pierce. His catch against Jacksonville that saved Frank Reich's job for a couple more weeks was fucking awesome. Um, I remember thinking, oh my God, this kid can be really something massive. Um, and I hope this is the year that he really pulls it off. I mean, I would love to see this battle go into the season. Just watching these two absolutely kill it, just fighting, fighting, fighting for spots. And Shane Steichen literally has to say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who I'm supposed to pick here. I mean, that's you want the coach to not know. You want the coach to say, I don't know who's better. They're putting in so much work and they're just fucking both guys are fucking awesome. So
Yeah,
that's the goal. And seems like at least, I mean, Pierce is showing out his stuff, but let's give it a few more weeks. Let's see what AD can really do.
for sure.
So I'm excited for that battle.
No, absolutely. It was one of the more intriguing ones. I mean, from what I'm hearing out of training camp, there's a lot of good coming out of training camp. Like Anthony Richardson has been stellar from what I've understood so far. He's a little bit issues with accuracy on some, but he's for the most part been accurate. He's been great throws, good rapport, especially with Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
I hear that they've really developed into a good duo. And I've also heard that Pittman has gotten into a couple fights. Like he came to blows, I think, with Jalen Jones. And yeah, it's training camp, man.
That's good.
It's gonna happen.
I heard Arian Foster on the Macrodosing podcast. They were talking about what's training camp like, and he was like, well, listen, it's not sexy. It's not like as sexy, I think, as they make it out to be. Like the guys are there at like 5 a.m. When you're doing, especially when you're doing 2-a-days, and obviously it's different from when Arian, he was playing because I want to say he came up in 09. I think it was 09. But he was talking about camp fights and he was like, listen, like if it's early and with your own guys, there's like that's because there's edge. That's because these guys have edge. That's because these guys, they're itching to get out there. There's so much like almost like anxiety. They're anxious. They're ready to hit each other. And then as long as there's no fights between the team, when they do like the joint practices, which I don't remember who's our first joint practice with. I assume it's actually what's our preseason schedule? Because I know we're on Sunday coming up this week, or on the 11th versus Denver. So we're playing Denver. It's on NFL Network. As long as we're not fighting with whatever joint practice we have next, then that's pretty damn good. That means these guys are going to be ready to go.
For sure. Sometimes things get heated. Shit happens. Pittman and I think he got into a scuffle. It was either with Zaire Franklin the second day or EJ Speed. I can't remember which one, but he got into a little scuffle with them. Someone lost their helmet. But these guys, they've already played 2 seasons together. They know each other really well, and sometimes shit just get. I mean, it's a physical game, and sometimes things get heated. People want to try and read into it, and I guarantee at the end of the day, they probably shook hands, whatever. Then that was the end of it. So.
We have the Cardinals joint practice on the 14th.
As long as it doesn't carry into a game and they're not fighting on the sideline, then I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Just keep it together. You got to remember you're on the same team.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Irsay also, I guess that's a little bit of a note.
Yeah,
he was at practice. First, public. Sorry, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought for some reason. First public appearance. Since what, December? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Ever since his was it an overdose? Is it confirmed it was an overdose?
I don't know. I thought he had some, I don't know, was it respiratory or something? I can't remember what it was. It's pretty serious.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, good to see the owner back out.
Yeah. I don't think it was an overdose. I thought it was something medical, maybe like complications with the medication or something. I thought it was something respiratory, not pneumonia, but it was something pretty serious.
It says in early January, the Colts released a statement that said Irsay was being treated for a severe respiratory illness. A week later, a police report surfaced that Irsay had been found unresponsive in his home on December 8th following what authorities described as a suspected overdose. According to the police report, Irsay received a dose of Naxalone, a medicine used to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose, before paramedics transferred him to the hospital. Irsay, who has spoken about his history of addiction, mostly to painkillers, has never acknowledged an overdose actually occurred in that episode. So yeah, we're not really sure. Could be overdose, could be the respiratory thing. But as long as he's okay, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, he was there, and it's good. I'm glad to see he's at least on the mend. And again, it was serious, man. There were questions about whether or not it was going to happen, and thankfully we don't really have to have that discussion right now. So yeah. Hopefully he continues to recover and get better, and we see him in the owner's box during the games for sure. Let me see more training camp. Oh, the other position battle that I've been hearing about, and we talked about him, Jalen Jones getting into the fight. I haven't heard much from Flowers. Like, I hear Jalen Jones is doing well, but I haven't heard a whole lot about Dallas Flowers. So usually means that one might be doing a little bit better in camp than the other. So maybe Jalen Jones is kind of leading the way right now. I've heard Blackman has been having a stellar camp. So that's good. He's sometimes up and down, but it's good to hear he's having a solid camp.
Yeah.
I'm also watching the game.
Yeah, football's back, man. You gotta keep your eye on it.
I'm not gonna record it and watch it later. I gotta watch it live. Let me see. I guess before we get into
Flacco, have we heard anything about how Flacco is doing?
He actually threw a touchdown pass to Pierce, Alec Pierce. He apparently ran a really good comeback route, kind of I don't want to say a jumper, but kind of a high pass, brought it down and took it the rest of the distance for like a 40-yard touchdown. So apparently Flacco has looked decent, showed great, I guess, chemistry with Alec Pierce. So
let me see. I'm just trying to see what their notes are on Flacco, if they had anything.
I haven't heard a whole lot out of him though, except for that touchdown.
Toss around the pigskin like we once saw in Baltimore. Surely he can hardly move, and you have to look up his age on Google to believe it. But man, he can still zip the ball around. All right. Well, they're saying he's got good velocity, and usually if they're not saying anything about you, that's not really that good. At least when it comes to like a backup quarterback. So if they're saying he has velocity, I'm confident, because I know Steichen said, I know what he said about, Richardson and how it's not going to hold him back, because you wouldn't tell Steph Curry to stop shooting threes. Man.
That's his game, baby.
I'm not going to say anything.
In that short, I said, you don't want to neuter him. You don't want to stop.
No, I mean, you don't want to neuter him.
You just want to have it better designed.
He's smart.
And I'm starting to turn into Trump. You want to have better design so they don't get injured.
Listen,
when start doing I get.
Yeah. I mean, you just shouldn't. I don't think you should be designing runs for him. You just should not be telling him, hey, your main purpose here is to run the football. The reason you have his legs is to be able to use them to extend the play, and maybe if the play breaks down, then you run, but you also teach him to be smart about how he runs and not put himself in situations where he can get laid out.
Yeah. Speaking of, there was a video, and obviously it's not going to happen. He was mic'd up at training camp. Anthony Richardson was mic'd up at training camp. And I guess there was a punt, and he just caught it and acted like, he was going to take off running with it. Yeah. We're going back and was like, man, they should put me on kickoff returns. And it's no.
It's like the same thing with Justin Fields. You know,
Mhm.
they're talking about putting Justin Fields at kick return because you know the kickoff is changing now,
Mhm.
which very odd. I don't know if I'm a fan of it. I really want to see it more in action with like the you know the real the not the real players but the starters in
Mhm.
a regular season game. Um,
It,
just because I don't know, it just doesn't have the juice as a
it,
preseason game.
it'll be interesting to see what they because you're both they're lining up almost like a regular snap.
Yeah,
And they've been describing it, in this game, they described it as more of like a running play, but it's just more
I
spread
actually
out.
don't
It's
I don't
weird.
mind it. You know, I am all for preventing injury at the end of the day. Like that's if
I just,
that's what they're trying to do, I'm fine with it if
I,
it's a little bit different.
one of the most exciting plays, one of the most exciting play was was the was the kickoff, return.
Yeah.
And based on when they moved the ball and just like trying to prevent injuries, it just kind of killed the play. Like if you're going to do this, then just put the ball on the 25 and like what's the point?
Well, they still want to give the opportunity to run the ball
Well,
back,
that's
which
what
you
I'm
still
saying, and
can.
that's kind of why I like the new rule because
Yeah.
you're punishing the team if they kick it in the end zone. If they kick
Hmm.
it too short, it's at the 40. It's out of bounds.
Yep.
So I kind of like they're trying to bring back the return, but it's like also so much is happening. There's really not a lot of room to return it anyway. So it's
I think that would make it a return that much like a long return that much more exciting because you're just not expecting it.
yeah,
The
it,
the one thing that really frustrates me is it killed the onside kick. I mean,
yeah.
it absolutely killed the onside kick. The
We
onside
have
kick,
to
when
announce it.
recovered, yeah. Which if they brought this into 2009, you know, I'd
We
be
would
perfectly
love.
fine because we
We
would
would
have won
love
another
it.
Super Bowl.
We would love it.
We would love that, but um, yeah, I mean that's the only thing. But listen, you're gonna have trade offs. You're gonna have positive and negative trade offs. So
I do like that it does bring back the kick return.
yeah,
If it actually, and I say that because the Colts and Chris Ballard. That's why I think he's a great drafter. He's too quiet in free agency, but he's a great drafter. He went after the best kick returner in college for this rule.
yep,
It might only last a season, but it might last more, and he got the best kick returner in college.
yeah,
Brilliant. He's going to try and take advantage of the new rule, and I love it.
yep, absolutely.
Let's see. I don't know if you have anything else before we move into the top
Not
25.
anything else. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, because this will probably be a decent discussion. So over the last two episodes, I went 9 through 25. So I'll just kind of quickly run down in order 25 down to 9. And for some reason, I didn't put it in any order, so it might take me a minute. So I put 25 at T.Y. Hilton. I put, and then I'll just run down Bill Brooks. I put Cato June, Brandon Stokely, Joseph Adai, Kelly, Ryan Kelly, sorry. But I put Luck at 18 and Buckner at 17. So I think that was the first episode that I did it. Let me see, where did I put 16? Sorry, my list is all out of order. Okay, Robert Mathis at 16. I put Quentin Nelson at 15. I put Harbaugh at 14. Put Bob Sanders at 13. Then Marshall Falk. Put Reggie Wayne, Dickerson, and Saturday at 9.
Robert Mathis was the thing that really stuck out to me.
Too low?
I think that is way too low. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how he's not. How is he not a Hall of Famer?
I think, I don't know if he's been eligible yet.
Hold
Let
on.
me
When did
see.
he retire? 2016. Hold on. What is it? Is it 5 years? Am I right?
I don't know.
It's 5 years, right?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's 5 years. Wow, we only had one first team All Pro too. Huh. I could have sworn I thought he would have had a lot more.
Oh yeah,
'Cause he
Mathis was a semi-finalist, but I don't think he made it in this year. Let me see. When was this? Hold on. That was 23. Sorry. Wayne. Yeah, Wayne didn't get in semifinals. No, yeah. Wayne is a semifinalist
the
for the
fact
fifth
that
time.
Reggie Wayne
It's
Reggie Wayne hasn't
it's
gotten it,
Mathis's third time as a semifinalist. So yeah, no, he hasn't gotten it. I think Freeney got in this year.
Freeney is in. Yeah. They
yeah.
did get him in there.
About damn time.
Which I was shocked. It said Mathis played until 2016, which is pretty shocking to me. I did not think he played that long. I don't know why, but I just feel I always felt like he retired like around the same time as Freeney did.
Ooh. Sorry, they just had a muff punt.
Oh shit! I saw Cam Akers scored a touchdown right before half as well. Pretty cool for him.
For sure.
Just nice to have football back on the screen. Just seeing the gridiron and the helmets,
Clink right off the knee. That's why you're on the practice squad. Anyway.
The world just feels right when there's football on the screen. Even if it's
like we can sit here and talk shit, and it's like there's no chance I could go out there and do any of this.
Oh no, God no, I'd be dead.
Losers.
Yeah, that's why like armchair quarterbacks just drive me crazy. It's like, okay, buddy, go. You're sitting in your chair. You're literally fusing to the leather in your chair.
I've got like nachos on my stomach and hey, fucking loser.
You will. I don't think you'll ever catch me. You'll never catch me saying I could do better than that because I just know I can't.
No, I'll talk shit about them, but
I can say that sucks because you're getting millions of dollars, and to do this, you should be able to do it at a high level. That when I say they suck, I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, but you know what? They're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do this. They should be able to do stuff like that. But you're never going to say I'll do it better because I won't be able to. I remember a kid I was coaching. I was like playing flag football with the kids and a team I was coaching for. And, I probably made a couple like a little bit more advanced, not even advanced catches. And they were like, "Did you ever try to play in the NFL?" I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, do you know how good those guys are? I wouldn't even touch the field. I literally would not even touch the practice field. If I got hit immediately, I'd just be dead.
So
like going across the middle.
Oh no, I'll die.
I mean, like I work out at the gym, but that does not mean I'm even close to touching an NFL field.
No.
So come on, these kids these days, fucking kids these days don't know how good it is, how good they are.
Mm-hmm. So just looking at the list, so Mathis at 16. So the people that are above him, I put Quentin Nelson, Jim Harbaugh, Bob Sanders.
I mean, Harbaugh just was not. He was not there long enough. I mean, he played.
What was it, 3-4 seasons?
Let me look at maybe 2 in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis, 3. He played 3 seasons in Indy. It's just he's not. I mean, he's just not up there. He's in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
they give that shit to anyone. I mean, that's just like crazy that they put him in there. I mean, I assume they would have done it for his other accomplishments outside of football.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like
that's kind of where I was going with that too.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they put the fans in there. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, there's 15. I mean, I'm looking at this Ring of Honor here. Like, Harbaugh played there 94 through 97. Eric Dickerson was here from 87 to 91. I assume they put him in there because they were in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Dickerson and Dickerson, like when he went out, it was not exactly like a great relationship. They did not have a good relationship from what I understand, at least. Maybe I misunderstood it. Falk 94 to 98, and they put him in.
Great running backs, man.
Just like but you have to like think about it in relation. Like you have Peyton in there, Reggie, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, even Tariq Glenn, like great player, Dallas Clark, like all these names, Tony Dungy.
I haven't gotten that
Brooks
far. I
was
haven't
there
gotten
6
1
years.
through 8. I haven't done 1 through 8 yet.
No. I'm not even talking about your list. I'm talking about the Ring of Honor who they put in there. Like it just it seems a little like wouldn't Dickerson? I don't know. It just doesn't.
Like it's. I mean, we can rearrange this based on, but I also took into account like career wise, like
overall career as a player.
Yeah. I kind of took that into account too.
Okay, that makes more sense. I thought it was maybe just what they did in Indianapolis.
But if we want to do it if we want to do it a different way, then yeah, like Bill Brooks should probably be a lot higher. Adai should probably be higher than these guys. So if we want to go that way, then yeah. But that's kind of where my head was at, just with everything that they've done. Like Jim Harbaugh's had a great career. He had a really good career with the Indianapolis, albeit short. And then he's gone on to be one of the great college coaches and all this other shit too. So I kind of took that into account too.
Oh, real quick, another an Andrew Luck storyline from the Olympics. I don't know if you saw this. No. He was at the Olympics in Paris at the gymnastics event because he housed 5 Stanford athletes when they were trying to qualify for the, like he housed them for free. Pretty cool guy. Pretty just a cool story that I saw. And it got me a good amount of views on Threads when I put that out there too. So pretty awesome.
What if he still has a flip phone?
I think
has he upgraded to the touchscreen yet? Come on, Luck. Like I'm not talking about spending all your money. I'm just saying, man, you still got the flip Nokia.
Honestly, I might have made the switch to a flip phone if I didn't have to have like the social media stuff for chaotically intolerant on here.
Like unfortunately, those little flip phones they don't really have a good like Facebook. I think you can access it, but it's so broken.
Yeah, I would not have social media on my phone whatsoever if it wasn't for posting and stuff like that.
For sure. Let me see here. All right. So I guess I'll do, what is it? The one that I put 1 through 8. Some of this is going to be pretty obvious, but at 8, I put Vinatieri, the GOAT. The GOAT.
Kicking GOAT.
The kicking GOAT. At, let me see, where did I put 7? I put Tariq Glenn. At 6, I put Dallas Clark.
Okay.
At 5, I put Edgerrin James.
Okay.
At 4, I put Dwight Freeney.
Okay.
At 3, I put Marvin Harrison. At 2, I put Johnny Unitas. And at 1, I put the greatest Colt player of all time. Trent Richardson. Just kidding. Of course it's Peyton Manning. Come on, man.
Yeah,
now I want to cut that part short. At number 1, I put the GOAT, Trent Richardson. I want to make a short out of that. Like this fucking idiot.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory there.
Yeah. Of course it's going to be Peyton Manning at 1. He's the guy that built Lucas Oil. Of course it's Peyton Manning. The GOAT.
I'm like really going. Where did you have Harbaugh ranked?
I put him at 14.
Luck has to be higher than Harbaugh.
I think that he just bitterness.
Does. No. Just me
putting him lower was out of bitterness.
Oh,
like I love Luck, but at the same time, man, imagine if he played with this team. It's just
I'm never bitter at him. I've experienced injury before,
it's just
there's Colts fans who don't get it. They just say he quit. He's a quitter. I've experienced injury before. I broke my wrist. I was, I would say I was a pretty good golfer. I could have gone pro, and after I broke my wrist a couple of years, 3 years ago, it was so difficult to come back to. It was a mental battle, and I had to, I've been taking about a break almost over a year now, just because of the frustration with my injury. So I already understood it before. I never blamed him, but this is really giving me a new appreciation. I mean, there's people out there that have never stepped on a athletic into an athletic event, and they're
Well,
like, Andrew Luck's a scumbag because he retired. Like the dude literally had a lacerated kidney. He was pissing blood. You
yeah.
know,
Like
it's
I
like
don't. I'm
don't
not
blame the guy.
mad
I
at
don't
it.
blame him.
I don't mad. I'm not mad at it. I'm just like
No, I know.
you just think like right now if he played with this team with like what could have been. I think is more of my.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put you at 18.
I just listen, but and if I think it's and a lot of people don't really know there already was murmurs with like I'm pretty sure from what I understand is that the front office knew about Luck's ankle injury, and they knew he was, like, battling it, and they shouldn't have acted like it was completely blindsiding to them. Like, it was like, "Oh, he just" one day he walked into the
I
office and was like, "Yeah, I'm retiring." Like, they kinda knew for months,
well, that's what I'm saying.
and it was
Like
just like, "This thing isn't going away."
given Luck's, I guess honesty, he's always been a pretty straightforward guy. He's always just
Yeah.
you know he doesn't talk a lot, but he to the point, direct, and what I don't think he hid the fact that he was contemplating retirement with brass. Like I feel like they had to have known at some point, like, man, I am on the bubble about this.
I'm
I'm
pretty
tired of
sure they
this.
knew well, he was thinking about it years before, after he lacerated or when he was going through the injury process.
In the shoulder.
He was thinking about that, and they knew that. So
I
they
just
weren't
don't think
prepared.
I don't think 2 weeks before the season, Luck was like, man, fuck these guys, I'm gonna
Yeah.
retire. I feel like it had to have been discussed to some length, and they were like, man, just kind of holding out hope that his ankle gets better, his mindset changes, and he's just like, man, I'm just done. I'm tired of being in constant rehab and pain, and I'm not tired of it.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I never did, but you also think about what could have been.
Oh, yeah. You definitely do. I mean, think about if, like, they somehow kept Bill Polian there for, like, the first few years of his career, and
Yeah,
Polian was able to, like, kinda help build up that like, if you don't bring in Grigson, you know, which, like, he also had a great 2012 draft, which no one really talks about, but the rest was like, holy shit. Like, you just think about Polian, even if he stays for, like, 2 more years, you're like, "What could have happened?" This
yeah.
guy could have avoided injury. You don't know. I mean, obviously, we don't know. I just saw the new Deadpool Wolverine too. So like there's always the multiverse and all that shit.
Yeah. I haven't been able to see it yet. I want to though. That and
I
Twisters.
it's don't go
I
into
don't
it
want any hate.
huh?
Twisters.
Go
I
ahead.
want to see Twistered.
Oh,
I
I
don't
want to
know.
see
I
Twisters
want to see.
too. I haven't seen it yet.
I love the original. I don't know if this is a sequel or just. I don't know.
I think it's a
But
sequel. I think I
I
don't know.
like when I was a kid. Twister was one of my favorite movies. I watched it like 4 times a day. I loved the movie. It wasn't the best movie. It was cheap, but I want to see it,
If you
and I
go and
want to see
see
Deadpool.
Deadpool, anyone who wants to go see it, this is Deadpool. I think people are going in expecting like some sort of great story with like, good twists and turns. No, Deadpool is a comedy. Don't expect some crazy story, but it's basically I consider it a fan service film, a really well done fan service film. Lots of jokes. It's pretty gory at times. It's gruesome.
And it's very
Um,
important that he got Hugh Jackman back.
yeah,
He retired and he brought him back. It's what everybody wanted was Deadpool, Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. It's what we were calling for since the first Deadpool.
yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that they actually bring back. So this isn't the only one.
Don't spoil. No
I won't
spoilers.
spoil. I won't
No
say
spoilers.
anything. But there is. There's a character that I'm a very very big fan of in a different
I think
universe.
I already know because it's already been spoiled for me. But
I'll drop it in the chat. How about this? Um,
uh,
I'll ask you a question and you answer it.
all right.
Just give me the name of what like who it is if
Oh,
you know
Punisher.
who it
Right.
is. Maybe you don't know.
Oh yeah. What's oh
Yeah.
well? Let me see. I think that was spoiled too.
Oh no, not her. Not her.
No,
No,
okay.
no. Which she was in the
Then I don't
trailer
know.
too. She was in one of the trailers.
I didn't see
A
the
different
trailer. I didn't
actor.
see that one then.
One of the trailers that came out, they showed her, and everyone was pretty pissed off about it. But there's another one from a different. He's a different guy from a different movie universe, not connected to Marvel, and he makes an appearance, and I am a big fan of this guy's work. A very big fan of this guy's work.
No, I haven't seen that, so
So
that
I
hasn't been spoiled
lost
for
it.
me yet.
I was geeking. I was geeking out when I saw this. Holy shit. It was amazing. No, not him either. No. It's a completely different universe, completely not related
Then that hasn't been spoiled for me.
to Marvel. And it's very quick. You see him, he's only in it for 30 seconds, maybe, but it is an awesome, awesome thing. So just look out for that. But Luck definitely over Harbaugh. Let's talk about that. Luck, first year goes 11-5.
Do we want to swap them 18 to 14 or what?
Who else is ahead of Harbaugh?
Let me see. 13 was Bob Sanders. 12 was Marshall Falk. 11 was Wayne. 10 Dickerson. And 9 was Saturday.
You can't put Luck ahead of any of them. I mean, Marshall Falk only played 4 years for the Colts. You know, and if let's look at his. I mean, statistically, Luck was also fantastic in the years that he played well. So you think he played four really good years for us, 4 statistically really, really good years. Falk was pretty much the same thing. He had some 4 like statistically really, really good years. Once again, he was drafted to it. Let me see what he did. Yeah, first year he rushed for 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. And he also was on that team that went to the AFC title game. Yeah, second season he rushed for 1,000 yards. Oh, he was hurt in his 3rd year. Let's see.
Sorry, now the game's in a weather delay, so.
You know, there's always something going on. Remember when the Colts were supposed to be in the Hall of Fame
was like
game?
shit conditions, so they didn't even play.
And the paint. It was the paint in the middle of the field. They said it was like concrete.
Yeah.
I was like,
how'd you mess this up? You had a year to figure this out.
Yeah. Literally 1 year. You have 1 game a year.
How'd you fuck this up?
He was the NFL leader. Oh yeah, in Manning's first year, he was he led the NFL in yards from scrimmage. I mean, it's a difficult one. I think Luck should be ahead of him, just because I think the accomplishments and the impact that Luck had on the team was a lot higher than Marshall Falk.
So I guess would we go?
It's hard to put him over. I mean,
it's hard
and
for
Bob
me to put him
Sanders
over
is
Bob
difficult
Sanders.
too. Huh?
It's hard for me to put him over Bob Sanders. So maybe move. Let me see here. Sanders to 12.
Maybe it's the bias in me, but it's really hard for me to put Luck outside the top 10.
Well, when we went through my top 10, I don't know who you could swap him out with, though.
Hold on, let me think of the top 10 again. It was Saturday was 9th, correct?
Yeah.
You had Reggie at 10?
Reggie was 11. I put Dickerson at 10.
Dickerson.
But it's hard for me to put Luck ahead of Wayne.
Yeah, that is hard. I mean, this is, again, it's difficult to like think about what it means, how good these are. Like, what are the criteria? What's the criteria? Because like Luck was, I think as a team, they were a lot more successful than what you saw with like Dickerson, because Dickerson, they sucked, but Dickerson was good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we want to base this all off of what the Colts did, then like people like Dickerson should go in the 20s, and you should probably move Stokely and Hilton, like Adai, Cato June up.
And what was their impact on the team? Because look at, I mean, Luck, Manning, and Unitas. Like those are the three of like, okay, they had the like Luck clearly had the biggest impact on that team. I mean, he was the team, honestly. Like he literally was. So yeah, it just depends on I guess the criteria and how you're ranking it. If it's just as an individual player, then yeah, Edge is over him. Or not Edge. Dickerson is over him. I don't know. Edge might be over him too.
I had Edge at 5.
Yeah, Edge. Oh yeah, Edge is definitely over him. Harrison obviously over him. Marshall Falk. You could say, yeah, you could probably say was over him. Reggie definitely over him. Dwight Freeney over him, just because of the career, the length, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go based on impact to the team, then he's probably top 5. I mean, there's very few players who have had that big of an impact on the team. Like, because if they're not there, you know, Harrison isn't there, Manning's still there. Manning is still there throwing touchdown passes to Reggie and you know, Brandon Stokely, Dallas Clark. You have the running backs there. Like, you know, if you don't have Peyton on those teams, we saw what those teams were in 2011, which obviously they were an aging Colts team as well.
Mm-hmm.
But even the year before that, they lose to Mark Sanchez and the Jets in 2010. You know, you run into the to the buzzsaw of Mark Sanchez, who also ended up beating Tom Brady and the Patriots the very next game, and then lost to Big Ben in the AFC title game. Man, I don't know. That's difficult. That's a difficult.
It wasn't easy making the list.
Yeah.
Like when I first made the list, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put who I think the top, like the best 25 Colt players of all time were. And then when I started ranking them, I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know. But it just got to a point where I'm like, just overall career, like including Indianapolis, and then just what they went on to do too. I kind of took that into account as well.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to agree. Luck is probably a little too low. I feel like we should at least swap him with Harbaugh, like 14 to 18.
Yeah, I don't think he can be outside the top 15 whatsoever. Even with the shortness of his career, it is really difficult to keep him out of the top 15.
14. I'll move Harbaugh to 18.
Because when he was there, he was a statistical nightmare for everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. No Trent Richards. No Trent Richards.
Are you doing top? You're doing top 50, right?
It was top 25. So you wanted
top 25
because we were going to compile like everybody else, Curtis, Isaiah, and Mayer from, of course, Titans Takeaways, Third and Teal, and the Real Texas Team Podcast. We're going to compile their list of 25, so we're going to have 100 players. And then as a group on this AFC South show, we were going to rank all 100. And I don't know how we're going to get through that because we're going to just, of course, Isaiah is going to be like, it'll be all top 25 Jaguars. You know, Peyton Manning is going to be first on
Peyton's
that list.
number one.
Like,
yeah.
Name me a quarterback name me a player on any of these 4 teams, or you could almost do the entire NFL. I mean, that's up for debate to some people, but you know, Peyton's the GOAT. I don't give a shit when anybody says, "Fuck you, Tom." There's no way Peyton's not first on the list for anybody.
When I hear that argument, there's like different ways to look at it. Accomplishments, of course, it's Tom Brady. I mean, it just is. Accomplishments, it is. You have to admit it. The 7 Super Bowls, it is Tom Brady. I think as a quarterback and like as a physical, you know, the mechanical stuff and the brain, I think Peyton was just a better quarterback. Like as a you know, just skill wise as a quarterback, it was Peyton.
Field general.
Yeah, he was. I mean, that's why he was called the sheriff.
I've never seen a quarterback come out and Indianapolis already had it down. We already knew what to do. Offense on the field, you shut the hell up.
Yeah.
We were trained. We know how to do this. Even to this day, Anthony Richardson comes on the field. You go to Lucas Oil and the offense is on the field. You can hear a pin drop up in the 600s.
Yeah.
It's just the way
there's a really cool podcast that the Colts did. They just wrapped it up. It was a 4-part podcast on their move to Baltimore, from Baltimore to Indianapolis. And they started when the Baltimore Colts, the original Baltimore Colts that were the Miami Seahawks, that moved to Baltimore. They started there. They were only there a few years, and then I think the NFL ended up adding another team there, and they kept it. And then they talked about Memorial Stadium there, how Robert Irsay basically said, we're going to take the team and leave if you don't give us a new stadium. And then the city was actually threatening eminent domain. So that's why they had to move out like in the middle of the night, that story. And then because the city was literally going to install eminent domain over the entire team the next morning. Yeah,
Bye.
Crazy, insane. So that's why they left so quickly. And then when we would go to Colts games initially, Colts fans would be cheering on offense. Like they didn't know, because in basketball you cheer on offense. The Pacers, they would cheer on offense. So they were like, we don't know what to do. We're just going to cheer and be happy if the team does anything.
I just remember seeing Peyton in Denver, and they pick up a big gain. I think it was like a Demaryius Thomas play or something, and they're the crowd did not know what to do.
Oh, I love those clips of Peyton going like, "Shut the fuck up."
Dude, what was that? Who was he mad at? It was Donald Brown. I think Peyton was mic'd
damn
up
it, Donald.
God damn it, Donald.
He just missed a block. Yeah.
God damn it, Donald.
He missed a block on his backside because Peyton had to run to the outside and just literally slide down. And then there was that other clip. I think I sent
running while he's screaming, "God damn it, Donald!" was one of the funniest.
I think I sent you guys that clip of Peyton running he ran like 40 yards against Oakland and just slides down at like the 5-yard line. I mean, I think the touchdown ended up it wouldn't have mattered anyways. They were just trying to run the clock out. Mm-hmm. But it's just like that's just Peyton. That's like a funny, just Peyton thing. I remember watching that live too.
It's the Peytoniest thing.
Yeah. I was 8 years old.
I probably had him in fantasy football. And I was like, just run for the touchdown. God damn it.
It was actually pretty smart because someone was going to tackle him from behind. And, especially, I mean, it's not safe to tackle from behind, that like hip drop thing that they're getting rid of, which it's fucking football, man. Can't tackle from behind anymore. Come on. But
put some flags on him and call it a day.
For a quarterback, especially like Peyton, who, really doesn't want to risk any sort of injury, the hip drop thing can break his leg.
Athletic of guys.
Yeah. He doesn't exactly know how to fall, but he knows how to slide.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and okay. So when you think about the quarterback position, it's like, oh, you just throw a ball to a receiver. There's a million things going on. You have to know sometimes there's 4 or 5 receivers at a time on a field. Obviously, they're all running different routes. Your line is doing something different. So not only are you paying attention to what your receivers' routes are and telling them what they're supposed to do, you're also telling the line what to do, blocking whatever assignments, whatever they're doing. You're telling a tight end to either block or go on a route. You're telling your running back to block or go on, whatever. So you're doing all these different things. And at the same time, when you drop back, you're going through your progressions, you have to remember where every person's going to be, realize where everyone on the defense is, and also remember, have that internal clock of, I've got 2 seconds before I can throw the ball. And he had that clock. And there's so many times where I see him and he's about to get hit from his blind side, and then he just tucks that. How did he even know? He just had that clock in his head that's like, I know when he's going to be there, and I know when I have to drop. I don't have time, drop. And sure enough, it'd be a sack, but it was really just a quarterback sack. He's just giving himself up.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him do it so many times. How does he even know? It was crazy watching him play.
Yeah.
It's like you could just see, what is that meme where it's got all the equations and stuff going around the head of the guy?
Oh, the Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got all those equations. That was just Peyton Manning.
I love that movie. Because that's also a reference to Rain Man.
Yeah.
When Tom Cruise and him go into the blackjack or into
Yeah.
Vegas.
Mhm.
Rain Man, great movie,
It was-
fantastic movie. I recommend that to anyone.
If you, I don't know if you or anybody, any of our 27 subscribers listen to Tool, but they came out with a new album. It was like 5 years ago now. Fear Inoculum, and there's a song on it called. Each song is over 10 minutes long. The whole album's like an hour and a half, hour 40. It's a really long. None of it's radio friendly. Like it's too long to play on the radio. They'd have had to put 7 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic album. But they did a playthrough of Danny Carey on the drums, and he's got. I'm not that musically inclined, but I've watched the video of him playing. He's got like one different type of drum kit here, another drum kit here, and of course he's doing he's got the double bass going, and he's got the cymbal things too. So he's doing 2 different beats with 2 different instruments with both feet. So he's got 4 different things going on at different times, and he's got 2 different sets all off beat. And that's like Peyton Manning at quarterback. Like, how the fuck are you playing all this? And they played it live. I've seen them do it live. They're fantastic. If you haven't seen Tool, I highly recommend it if they come to town to see them. It's impressive. But that was just like watching Peyton Manning play. Like, I don't understand how. Like, I kind of hated him because he was so damn good at it. Like, I tried to play drums, and it's like I get to a point where I'm like doing one thing, and then my left hand starts doing the same thing. I'm just like musically retarded. But but yeah, it was fun to watch. It was really fun. Good times. Hopefully those are up, man. Are coming up too. So, Anthony Richardson, he looks good. He looks stronger. I mean, there's been a couple of little injury scares in training camp, but
I saw some really good clips from him throwing. I think he delivered a dot to Pittman, like over the Pittman like reaching up over the middle. I mean, it got me excited, man. I hope Richardson can stay healthy and just do his fucking thing.
It doesn't look like there's any limitations with his shoulder, like you said. He's ripping it really good. Yeah. He's been running. Apparently, obviously they're not allowed to hit the quarterback in training camp, but apparently there's supposed to have been a sack or 2. But he's been very agile. He's been quick with his feet, and I think there was a couple days he was like 4 for 4, and then there was another 11 on 11. He was 4 for 6. So he's doing what he's supposed to, and if we can just keep him right around that 60% completion, keep turnovers down, and keep him healthy, it should be a really good season.
Please be smart with his body, please. My God. Like, just don't put him in harm's way. You cannot neuter him and also not put him in harm's way and be smart with it. Like, that's I think when people like, I'll see like there's Colts fans that say that, and then there's Colts fans that are like, no, let him do everything. There can be a middle. There can be a perfectly fine middle.
What the Colts need to do is just showing I'm doing what the Colts need to do is just have him watch Lamar Jackson video.
I don't know if you can teach that though. That's like a unique thing. I've never seen anything like that from a running quarterback before. Like just how elusive he is.
I think Richardson has a much better arm than Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's arm is bad. I'm saying that Anthony
Richardson has a fucking cannon. He has a fucking cannon.
And I think Richardson can be a lot more athletic than Lamar. But the difference is Lamar is very intelligent when it comes to running. He knows what to do. He knows how far he can get. He knows what he can get away with. And he doesn't. The times he's gotten injured, it's been in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I think just have him sit down and just watch 10 straight
hours
of Lamar.
The times that he's gotten injured, it was in the pocket.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
it was either
his big shoulder injury. I'm pretty sure he was running because he was. Oh! I thought you were talking about Richardson for a second.
No, Richardson's were both when he was. No,
out of the pocket, running around.
Lamar, I think
you're talking about Lamar.
Yeah.
Well, and he's got a diarrhea problem too. He missed a day of practice because of stomach issues. Remember when he left the Monday night game because of He had to go to the bathroom. He had to poop.
Eat a banana. Eat some toast. Drink some water. You'll be fine.
And I don't think I wouldn't make fun of it if I didn't think he had some sort of actual disease. I can't remember the name of it. But he hasn't come out and said anything. I feel like they usually say I have this or that.
I don't know.
He might just have a diarrhea. He might just have a poop problem.
Look, I had to come out of the game. Anal fissures. I'm not announcing that shit. I just had to take a dump. That's it. I'm not going to tell anybody that. Got the hemorrhoids.
Lamar Jackson out this week with in parentheses hemorrhoids.
I'm not announcing it.
I would. I'd be completely open about it. I'd be like, laugh at me all you want.
I've got the flu.
I wouldn't care. Hey, everybody poops. Everybody poops.
No, I'm saying it's man, if I had to go take a dump, I'm just gonna say.
I know. I would say
for a
that.
few minutes.
I would tell them. I'd be like,
if I had
to take a shit.
If I had a major medical diagnosis, I think it was from The Office, where he's like, nobody here has anal fissures. Somebody does.
Somebody.
I'm not
Somebody does.
But that conversation took a sharp right turn. But so yeah, if any of you guys out there in Colt land agree, disagree, think things should be changed, drop in the comments, man. Let us know. Hey, your list sucks, Jeff. This should be this person. State your case, and maybe we'll change it before we take it to this AFC South show. I think we're doing one mid to late August, and then we're going to be ramping up 2 episodes. I think in September, we're going to be doing 2 episodes each. So we're going to have a lot of content coming your way. So help us out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a beat. Don't miss any of it, because we're going to start pumping out a lot of content for you guys. Alex, thanks for your time. I know you've been busy. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem.
And again, football's back, baby. They're in a weather delay right now, but it's back. It's good. I can't wait for the regular season. And we'll see you next week. If you made it this far, again, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to keep drilling it home. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all be good people. And always go Colts.